Good evening and welcome back along to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP, it's Monday Ryan. Another great weekend for the Celts and a great weekend overall with results elsewhere as well, mate. And as I said, I'm joined by my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford tonight. Good to see you, wee man. Seen me Maloney's been round the houses tonight with the hoodies and that, so certainly need them in this weather, mate. It's minus 14, Glasgow. How about you?
I'm not bad, mate. It was Christmas and Sean did deliver. He promised to deliver a new hoodie and he has, like he always does. He always delivers, mate. So but no, obviously into the serious stuff, mate. Really good weekend for Celtic. Good performance at Celtic Park, and then obviously when you finish the game, you see the score from the team across the water, who
Yes.
we now obviously playing Thursday. So good weekend for us. We've extended the lead in the league table as well. So. But been a pretty good weekend overall. Good Christmas, into the weekend, good Boxing Day. So in terms of football wise, mate, all good, mate. I'm good. Hope everybody else is good and had a good Christmas and looking forward to your year. And hope you're well yourself, mate, as well.
Thanks very much. Christmas went by in a flash. A bit like the way my Ada does with fullbacks and on a wing, mate. Quite quiet with the family. As I say, it just went by really, really fast. Kids loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. They're still not even getting around to opening everything they got, which is always the same. Totally spoilt rotten. And yeah, as I say, it's all that side it's over and done with. We're now heading into getting ready for Hogmanay in the new year approaching us, and Celtic finishing off with another 4-0 victory against St Johnstone. And not only that, Ryan, but they've finished the calendar year with only 2 defeats, the full 12 months of the calendar year. I'm going to have a wee jibe here and say that they've actually won the treble in its own right as well. They've won the 3 trophies within the calendar year as well, so you could probably say that as well. But I want to say a massive Merry Christmas again to everybody that's tuning in with us, all you folks that are watching from all over. I hope you had a great time with your families. Also, if you are new to the channel, please hit the like button and subscribe. If anybody's watching us, please hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It's the one with the wee thumb. It goes up the way like that. And yeah, it does us the world a good on here on the channel. And like we says, obviously it's free to do it for you to come and join the family. Come to some comments, Ryan, before we get into our topics for the night. Just to let everybody know as well, this is not the dial-in tonight. I did say that in the post that we put out this morning. We're not doing the dial-in due to the fact of the holidays and obviously the big Glasgow Derby that's coming up this coming Thursday, because we won't, after tonight, we actually as a channel, we won't be back on until Friday. So we're not going to do the dial-in. The dial-in will return next Monday night at its usual time of 8:30, and we'll go back from there. So first up tonight, we've got Jerry Burns. Evening, lads, and everyone tuned in. What a weekend. Leo Porter, evening, lads. Won't matter what team, we should beat them 17 clear. Plunge is joining us also. Evening, my fellow Fenians. Minus 14. It's going to be minus 17 on Thursday. Wrap up, folks. Lindsay also joining us. Good evening, Ryan, JP, Ryan, and the chat. Hail all. Mark McDonald, he's also on. Hail, JP, Ryan, and all in the chat. Stevie, good evening, JP, Ryan, and everyone in the chat. I'll be here all night with us, man. George, all right, boys, all the best for the coming year. Positive vibes, hail. And all, Jack and Victor tonight. He's kind of got that right. Be very careful with who you say is who, because I'm JJ. He's Vic Vaughan.
I'm Vic Vaughan. I would say Winston, but he's no part of it. I've got a solo knee, but he's not here, so.
Aye. We nearly had Mrs. Begg as well. Aye, she was nearly here tonight as well. Plunge, where is Barry Bannon? Good question, mate. There has been an SOS put out for the wee man tonight. He was meant to be joining us, but he's give us a dingy nine, didn't he? What a heavy come down. Celtic got a good victory, that mob dropped points, and then the wee man dingies us, man. That's bad crack, isn't it?
Aye, but no, like you said, obviously Bad's got a prior engagement, so unfortunately can't make it. And Big Alan hopefully will join us. Hopefully will come in very soon and join us. But yeah, as it stands now, you're stuck with Jack and Victor. So, but obviously, Baz has obviously had to go somewhere else. So, it's unfortunate, but obviously we'll be back on very soon as
Big
well.
Alan actually might not be joining us, Ryan. It's only 8:10. Big Alan's still doing Play the Scotto up at Great Western Road now. He's still got a good bit of shift to go, mate. So he might actually not be with us.
Well, to be fair, that Play the Scotto will get about now, didn't they? So he might go on a night shift tonight. So, but at the moment it's just me and you, mate. Alan might pop in if he's available to win. But obviously overall, mate, it was a good weekend for us, and some good comments as well to kick us off, and there seems to be a lot of good bit of banter in the chat tonight. So happy days. That's always a good sign. You know, it's got to be a good podcast, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Some more comments coming in. Nick Conley, even JP Ryan. Hope you both had a good Christmas. Same to yourself, pal. Hope you're well. David Anderson. Hello, boys and girls. How you doing? Hope you're well. Francis, evening lads. 14 clear, loving it. They should put that outside McDonald's, shouldn't they, Francis? 14 clear, I'm loving it. By the way, I don't think many of them are beginning to get a Happy Meal out of there soon, Ryan. Have you seen a Happy Meal nowadays, by the way? You're not happy when you get it, are you? Jesus, Johnny.
I hope after New Year these jokes get better, by the way.
Yeah. I've not even started joking yet, so that was actually me trying to be serious for a wee minute there. But no, as I say, it's still early. Big Play the Scotto might fall in Rapids traffic cone when he's seed tonight, man, and it's that cold weather, mate. It catches up with you. Jerry Burns, straight in. There we go. We'll touch on yesterday's result now, and I think that's probably the best place to start. Jerry says, lads, were you impressed with Yang? I'm going to have a wee chuckle to myself here, Jerry, because I've actually had a conversation with Ryan about this and about 2 or 3 different occasions before tonight. Were you impressed with Yang? He looked okay, but at the end of the day, it was against St Johnstone. No, you know, I don't ever look at things like that, right? I look at the other side of that, Jerry, and that, you know, the first part of that, lads, being impressed with Yang. I'm going to say I was, yes, because I thought he was very bright and positive for us yesterday. I actually think it could be his best game in a Celtic jersey. He played 90 minutes yesterday, he played in both wings, and he was very busy, and he occupied St Johnstone's defence very, very well. He does have to work on certain things in his game. His end product's not the best. However, I think the lad has took a doing from our support, Jerry. And I've got to say, credit where credit's due. Being at the game in person yesterday, Ryan, I thought he did okay.
I wouldn't say impressed, Jerry. I would say he was better than he was in Boxing Day, because in Boxing Day, I thought his days were numbered, because I thought he was very, very poor. I said that on social media, and I said it on here. I didn't think he was great. I'm not going to sit and hammer at that, JP, because it's a positive result. And
I don't think you can, Ryan. That's the thing as well, like he says.
And there's no negativity to put across about the game at all.
I would agree with that, Ryan. I did say that was one of the things I did say to you, that he looked better coming in off the left.
He did look better, but you seen the difference when Maeda came on as well, and Kuhn. And listen, on isolation, he was better. he was better than he has been in a Celtic jersey. Again, I don't rate him. I have seen enough of him. He's been here nearly over 18 months or so, I think, maybe nearly 2 years, over 2 years, and he's not really done much. And if he's going to get in this team, then he's probably going to have to really, really knuckle down and do everything right. And there was things he done well yesterday, but again, there was things he done pretty simple stuff no well, and overplaying and take men on, but no take men on. And like you say, his end product, you can have all the running stats and have all the touches of the ball, but if your end product at Celtics, a winger's no great, then what, Palmer, he won't play. Palmer had good numbers last year, but Rodgers didn't always play him. So I think, me personally, it's all down to the manager, JP Young. Again, I don't rate him at all. I don't think he's good enough for Celtic. He's got something, but I don't think it's good enough to make Celtic better or to, just to really improve us. I don't think he'll play on Thursday. But listen, I get what Jerry's saying there. Most Celtic players should be showing up against St Johnstone, and that's no disrespect St Johnstone, but they're near the bottom of the league. I think they're bottom or near the bottom of the league. They're not doing very well, so that's the game that you should be at least showing up a wee bit. Listen, in 6 months' time, I could have egg in my face and they could be a superstar. I can't see it, but I can only talk through what I've seen by him now. And yes, he was better the other day, mate, but overall, I think we're going to look at longer term. I think we all know the winger position is probably a priority for January.
Yeah, no, listen, 100%. And I just want to clear up a couple of things just now. By any means, am I not saying that Young's, he's a great player, or, I'm taking yesterday in isolation, and you've got to give credit where credit's due. He did well for the team yesterday. Now, it'd have been very easy for Brendan to whip him off and bring on even Palmer, because he was on the bench. Or even go with a makeshift and put maybe, go early and bring Ralston on early, keep AJ there and put one of them higher to give us that width on that side. But he never done that. He went with, he took Nicholas Kuhn off and moved Yang from left wing onto the right wing. So Yang played the full game. Rodgers would have made changes if he thought for any minute yesterday, Yang didn't do well. I've heard the audio back from Celtic TV, and even Simon Dolling's agreeing that, he was positive for Celtic yesterday. Now, people can go, it was only St Johnstone. But if that was Ross County, or if it was, they're saying the same thing, it's only them. That's like saying Hatate only looks good because we're only playing against Aberdeen, or we're only playing against Ross County, or we're only playing, I find that, Ryan, for me, a wee bit disrespectful, because I'm taking the game into isolation yesterday, and yesterday, like I says at the beginning there, you've got to give credit where credit's due. I thought the lad did well. Now, he's took an absolute battering from huge sections of the Celtic fans, and that's fine. Some of it has been deserved, by the way, because he's not done enough since signing. I've always said to you, Ryan, as a winger at Celtic, you've got to be contributing, mate. You've got to be making assists. You've got to be scoring goals. Yang, he's not done any of that. But he did affect the game yesterday in that he brought a pace to the game that St Johnstone. It also helped to unlock bits of St Johnstone yesterday when St Johnstone's full 11 were camped in their own half, mate.
I know, listen, if you're taking the game into isolation, it was better than Boxing Day. Obviously, I was at the game on Boxing Day. And to myself, I was calling him a few silly things. You're this, you're that, you're not good enough. Actually, I was saying, get him off the park, because he was really annoying me. And listen, I didn't play at the level he's played at, so I don't want to be disrespectful, but see when players run the ball at the park and can't pass the ball 5 yards, and it just annoys the living out of me. It really does.
Yeah. No, I get that.
He was better. And I want every Celtic player to do well, but I can only talk through what I've seen so far. Yes, he was better, but I think as a fan base, we can all say, listen, a winger, take away Yang being here or no, even with Palmer being here, a winger's probably listen, we'll touch on that as we go. It's not a podcast.
No. I just, obviously, this actually started, the topic started there because Jerry put in that comment about Yang.
Listen, it's a good point, JP, because you've got to give somebody credit when credit was due, and he was better. I want to say I was impressed by him. I'm just saying, I did agree that he was better than Boxing Day. He'll come against bigger up. What will prove if Yang's got better or he's going to be a player here longer term or whatever else? It'll be games if he plays at IBROX. Well, I don't think he will, but if he comes on the games in Europe, if he plays against young boys or he plays with Villa, that's the games where you'll see if he's learned a bit in the last 18 months, because it's the same with Adam Ida, right? To be fair, Adam Ida done okay when he came on, right? But see, it's all right showing flashes 10, 15 minutes here and there off the bench when your team's winning 2 or 3-0, you're in the ascendancy. But see, when you're starting the game and you need to contribute for the off and you need to start for the off, that's when it shows you how the player is, in my opinion. And Yang's very, I would say he's had that game yesterday in Aberdeen, I think it was last year. Apart from that, I don't think he's done much. And for Celtic, is that good enough? Probably not, mate.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry also comes back with a comment saying, as a Celtic player, you've got to turn up in the big games. I don't think we can rely on him to do that. I just don't think he's going to be there, Jerry. There's guys ahead of him who are going to get far more opportunity in a big game than Yang, 100%. But obviously, could be topic to begin with. Another one, Toby joins us tonight also. He says, Cal's had a wee break now. Hopefully he's firing full pelt come Thursday, as it was needed. Welsh moving on for me, and then coming back is good to get John Joe Kenny involved also. I don't know if he's Johnny
Kenny.
I don't know if he's having a laugh there, John Joe Kenny. I think Celtic fans have got a bad flashback there when that name is mentioned. But I think I get what you mean. I think you mean Johnny Kenny. Touching on the one with Callum McGregor not being on the team yesterday, Ryan, I'm going to be honest with you just now. I don't know if it was just the way we played, because I thought Celtic were very good from start to finish yesterday and never let up at all. And obviously the St Johnstone manager's post-match comments tells you, that's truth also. I felt I don't know if this is just me, but I felt that the team, we looked a lot faster in the midfield. I don't know if it's just the way it seemed, but it just looked a lot quicker. And by the way, if anybody sitting watching us now goes, are you saying the team are better without Callum McGregor? No, that's what I'm not saying. I'm just saying it felt in the stadium yesterday, it just felt to me, Ryan, that the midfield was a lot sharper. Now, that's probably down to the fact, and obviously we're going to touch on him, is the fact that Engels is now, he's starting to show who Engels is. Yeah, to me, it just seemed a lot busier in there, and everything was done at a far higher tempo.
I think that's because when Callum plays, I actually think we're pretty reliant on Callum too much, and everything goes through him. Everything goes through him. As soon as we start attacks, it goes through McGregor. When we're defending, it goes through McGregor. When we're trying to transition, we're trying to go through it. It always goes through McGregor. So when you take him out and then you change the way you're playing very free, so it is going to be quicker. It's going to be a different dimension. But I do think we rely on him too much, and I think I seen a stat as well.
I agree.
I think it was Bernardo. I don't know if it was either. It was 48 passes or something he had, or just about that. Now McGregor probably has double that. So I think it shows you that for me, when McGregor plays, it goes from Schmeichel to Johnstone, or it goes from centre backs to McGregor, and he then plays it. So I think it was. I wasn't surprised he didn't play. I was actually glad he didn't play, because it means he's going to IBROX. I know he played the last bit, second half, but it means that he's fresh, full blown for IBROX, because I know he's not playing with Scotland anymore, but he'll still be a lot of people. I'm
going to tell you a funny story. I walked into Celtic Park yesterday just as we're talking about Callum, right? So obviously tell the viewers in case some of you weren't at the game and never seen this. So JC he does a warm up with him, so he takes the starting 11 over to do the warm-up before the game. And Callum McGregor, when he blows the whistle, Callum McGregor starts to run towards that area where he's going. And Carter-Vicker's obviously the captain for the game yesterday, so he puts his hand out as if to go, no, as if, where are you going? And McGregor turned around and he was like, oh, as if I forgot I was a sub. And it was just that split second, Ryan, of, you know, it's obviously just like muscle memory of we'll go there when we warm up. He's just not realised, by the way, you're on the bench today, mate, you're a sub. So I just found that quite funny because the two of them had a laugh about it as well, like before the game kicked off, which was really, really good.
No, that's quite funny, mate. Obviously, it would be muscle memory if you're normally a sub from. So, but I seen a stat. I don't know if it was 48 passes or 48 something that Bernardo done, but normally McGregor would probably double that. So I think everything does go through McGregor. It's not a bad thing, but it's a bit repetitive, and then when you take him out and he's not there, you're noticing other parts. But that's just the way that we've been told to play. I was no surprised that he didn't play. I was actually glad he didn't. So, but I think he'll be now obviously ready to go for Thursday. A bit fresh in the memory, a few days off as well in the bargain. So, aye, listen, I think he's a top player. And again, it's not really a podcast to mention it fully, but I did mention it a few weeks ago. I know he's 32, either came up for 32 or he's just turned 32, one of the two. And maybe in a year or two, you'll probably need to start planning with McGregor because he's not going to be playing every game.
I know, it feels like we were saying that about Scott Brown no long ago, and now we're saying it about Callum.
We did. I still listen. See guys like Scott Brown. It's very hard to replace that sort of player because they're probably a dying breed now in football. You don't get Scott Browns anymore. You don't get Wanyamas or you don't get these sort of players anymore. It's all this technical football and athletes. You don't really get these big bruisers or these big strong. You don't get it anymore. No, Scott Brown was a bruiser, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But listen, I'm not going to say McGregor's finished. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I think maybe after next season or maybe 18 months to go after this, I think you're maybe time to start to look at options in McGregor. If it's, I know people in the chat might mention McKibben. For me, McKibben, I don't think will get to that level. McGregor, he'll still get to a good level. But I think if we're going to replace your captain, you need to replace your captain with somebody with that quality or that quality above that quality. But listen, that's just a wee thing I'm throwing in. But listen, McGregor's a top class player, and we'll see how he goes on Thursday. But no, listen, I agree with you, JP and Kemza. The play was a bit quicker, and it helped the game because we won the game 4-0. It was quicker, so all in all, it was positive result.
Yeah, 100%. Massively positive. We've got someone joining us from. He must have just got back from his shift there for Player of Scotto. Good evening, big man. How are you?
Evening.
It's good to you to join us.
Bye. Sat down, I know.
We were just chatting amongst ourselves. Do you go here?
How did I get? No, I fell asleep on the couch here. Andrea came in and woke me up. Aye. That's the truth. I tried to say something funny there, no, but I fell asleep on the couch here.
Well, as Francis says, we hope you've got a note, Aaron.
Aye.
Sorry, Francis, you got it there, look, it's there. Aaron will be for half an hour.
Honestly. About 30 seconds ago, Jenna went, "You awake?" I was like, aye. She's like, "You know you're supposed to be in the pod," and I was like, "What time's it?" She went, "I'm in for work." She's like, it's after 8:30, and I was like, "Oh Jesus!" So, apologies, people. I don't know if it's kind of Monday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday. You don't know. So
To be fair, mate, I think we're on that situation.
To be fair, it's definitely Monday. I can assure you that.
aye. Well, I know that now. So aye. What? Okay.
Hail, Bill. You're well, mate.
So obviously, as you were saying there, Ryan McGregor, top player, absolute top player. We might have to start looking into a replacement for him. We will get there. Obviously, more I want to touch on just now is obviously that's back-to-back games now. Celtic have scored 4. We've won 4-0. Yeah, so I mean it's absolutely incredible to have. We've only lost 2 goals. 2 goals. We've only lost 4 goals this season in the league. We've kept 15 clean sheets from 18 games so far domestically this season. And we're flying. We've managed to get ourselves a 14-point gap at the top of the league, Alan, and we're not even, we're a day away for turn of the year, mate.
Yeah, no, we've done fantastically well. We've got to this point of the year, and you look at where we're sitting just now in the league. We've got one trophy in the bag as well. You've got to look at that as a positive as well, that how well we're doing. I look at kind of yesterday's performance as well. It's probably the whole game. It's the most controlled performance I've seen since the Aberdeen game. I think that we've seen a few kind of halves of performances we've seen before, but yesterday's 90 minutes, I think it was probably the most complete performance we've seen that we have, and it looks as well at the new year as well. It gives us that kind of that confidence and that inspiration that we are going to go further into this new year playing very well, because how can we say that there's a team across the city that have not got the same confidence that us 3 boys have just now. They, if you support the other team, they're sitting in a different way of light. They are sitting no as kind of happy as we are, and it's. I grew up in the 90s as you did, JP.
Yeah.
You know how we grew up. We didn't have much confidence in how Celtic were going to do as well. I think it's turned full circle now. I think that we're the dominant side, and you look what the other side of the city are looking now that when are they next going to win a trophy, and that was probably the opposite what we were looking at when we were growing up. So it's turned full circle with the way that the kind of things are won in this city, and gladly it's turned our way, because that means that we're winning everything that we can possibly can, and I'm happy to see that it's our way.
100%, as Alan says there, Ryan. It's obviously the way that Celtic are doing it. It's not just the results that are coming in. It's they're doing it in a certain style, and they're doing it in a way that they've absolutely battered teams out the way, and you know, it's been absolutely remarkable watching it, mate, as a fan.
If you want to talk about, obviously, I think it's one defeat in the league, I think, on one in Europe in the calendar year. That's correct. I've roughly like that. That's phenomenal. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. To have only 2 defeats in a calendar year, doesn't matter the opposition. It's near among impossible for that to happen. So for the manager to come in and do what he's done and bring on some players who have been okay and then they've kind of grown and grown. It's brilliant, mate, and it's something that you need to enjoy. And don't rest on what was done. You need to look to the future and you need to keep going. And I don't want to be a negative person here, but see after the next game, what we've just done last year, that's done now. You go into the future, you go into the next game and next game and next game, and but overall it's been unbelievable for Celtic. Us as fans, it's like I said, I don't want to say I've been spoiled, but I've been very lucky for what I've seen being a Celtic fan. I've seen loads of trebles, I've seen 9 in a row. I've potentially might see another 9 in a row. The way things are going, I don't want people to clip this, but that's the truth. That's the way things are going. So I think, like you say, in terms of how many defeats we've had this year in the league, I think it's 52 goals as well. 4 conceded, 48.
Yeah.
I think the goal difference, I think it's 40, 50 or something, 48. So it's phenomenal, JP. And obviously, you've got to talk about Engels as well. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. I thought he was very good against Motherwell on Boxing Day. Obviously, where I sit in the second half, normally Celtic shoot that way, and his deliveries are unbelievable. I know I get frustrated when players hit the first man, but I can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to just get it above the guy's head and right into that middle, and he done it for, I think it was Maeda's goal in Scales, and then Maeda, it was frightening. His deliveries are brilliant, and then yesterday, the ball that he played through to Kyogo, different class. And I know people say £11 million, what is he gaining you? Well, his last season for Augsburg, he played 32 games, he got 3 goals and 2 assists in a full season, right? With us so far, he's played 24 goals, 5 goals, 8 assists, including the Champions League. So he's already better this season in Augsburg, already. So he's been good. I don't get the critique of him. I don't get it. I get we've all got opinions and we all see things different and we all want things different out of players. But for me, JP, hopefully, I'll put this to you, obviously. For me, Engels, right, I think the manager's seen either he wasn't confident or he's seen a bit of drip online or the fans were on his case or whatever else. He's took him out of the team. Proper and elite game management, man management. He's took him out, and ever since he's put him back in, he came on against Liam McCrory in the the final. For me, done pretty well when he came on, and then he was brilliant yesterday. And then he done well yesterday. So for me, I think he'll play in Thursday, mate. But I don't know what you think about Engels, mate. But for me, I've battered on the last few weeks about the kind of backlash he's been getting. I think he's been uncalled for. And it's just time to just support the boy now. Let him play his stuff. He showed a good bit of maturity yesterday, and let's see how he fares on Thursday if he starts again.
Yeah, I've very short and simple. I think for me, I've liked everything I've saw Engels for the day we've seen him. I think he's an absolute class act, and I think it's really scary, obviously, with this one, because he's going to become better. And for what we're already seeing and the quality that he's delivering just now, I mean, you look at that pass for Kyogo's second goal, frightening. He played one similar, not as far as a bend, probably further in terms of the distance it covered though, on Boxing Day, and that was right across the box to Maeda. His vision's unbelievable. He played one in the first half, and it was just a heavy touch by Kyogo that took it back to the goalkeeper. Or Kyogo was 1-on-1 with the keeper as well yesterday, and that says he's. And then you add what he does off the ball. So, yeah, you look at his running power. I watched him against Atalanta. I thought he was absolutely outstanding in that game. I actually thought he was man of the match that night for us. You look at the work effort that he put in to stop the wee man out wide for Atalanta was just frightening, absolutely frightening. It takes a lot of effort to stop somebody like that. It really, really does. And there was spells of the game. I looked at my dad when the game had finished because I was watching it with him that night, and I turned around and I says to him, was he playing? Like, did he actually play in that game? That's how good Engels was. I watched the Bratislava game at Celtic Park. That was his first game, and the Champions League as well. He stood out a mile as well. I love how he takes the ball in tight area. He's got everything to his game now. He can shoot, but he's got that one. He takes balls in tight areas. Probably yourself, big man. Know what I mean? You're probably used to some of that as well. A wee bit of super scoreboard stuff. Know what I mean? You've got other boys.
I want to make comments, you know. I'm like, I just woke up out of sleep. I'm not drinking.
Right. We'll clear it up now. Big Alan's not inebriated at all. He just woke up out of sleep, that's all. Okay? So, he's no, for everybody that keeps commenting, is he drunk, he's drunk, he's drunk, he's not getting drunker by the...
for a Jack Daniels or so, but honestly, I just woke up out of sleep there. Jesus.
I'd love to see photos of you guys waking up out of sleep, and let's see how yous look.
My hair would look better if I was drunk as well.
So, aye, definitely. Leave him alone. He's no drunk. He's just woke up.
Trying to do a good deed.
In terms of Engels, as John says there, it's called a siesta. There you go. It's called a siesta.
I know
but
after dinner.
Aye, probably aye.
It's
But we don't know. But what you've not told us is what time you fell asleep. See, that's that, Brian. I tell you about that. I tell you, it's all that player Scotto stuff, Ryan. He's got him doing double shifts at the festive period, know what I mean? It's mental. He's walking about the Great Western Road. It's a big, long road, I know, it takes it out of you. But, Alan, obviously, we're touching on Engels here. Ryan's obviously spoke highly of him. I've spoke highly of him. Obviously, to get your own thoughts about Arne Engels, and obviously what now we're starting to see. And not to mention the cup semi-final as well. I thought he was excellent against Aberdeen that night as well.
No, I've got to speak highly enough of Engels as well. I think when we first seen Arne Engels, I was very, very impressed. I thought you can see he's got massive technical ability. You can see that there's no doubt about it. There's something about the player. Look just now that he's maybe not settled in as much as everybody thought. We'll say kind of week in, week out that there is a game to adapt to. There is kind of culture, a difference in gameplay as well. You're looking at, but he's a decent player, and you've seen it in the last couple of weeks as well. He is a very, very talented player. He's started to adjust as well. You've seen, but I think we're only seeing the start of what Arne Engels has got. I think we're only seeing wee bits and bobs of what Arne Engels has in his locker. I think he's got a lot more to offer than he's shown just now. And that obviously he's got that price tag above his head. And whether that's a good or a bad thing, he's got that price tag above his head that he's going to be judged upon. And a lot of the Celtic fans are kind of judging him upon that matter in the last few weeks. For me, I wouldn't be judging him on that. We can see he's got massive technical ability. We can see that he's got that ability that's going to drive him forward. And I think there's so much more to come for Arne Engels from what we've seen. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, because just now he's getting into the Celtic side. You can see he's still progressing as a player, and I think the possibilities the guy's got, it's incredible. You don't get in the Belgian national side if you're not a decent player, and he's shown kind of time and time again that he's got that ability as a player, and I think he's going to come on leaps and bounds for that.
Yeah, Ryan, I think he's you know what Alan says there about coming on leaps and bounds. I think he's came from a club where he's kind of played holiday football, in a sense that he's only had one game a week to worry about. He's now been exposed to this massive club with fanatical support, Champions League football. As Alan says, he's now playing international football. All these things weren't happening when he was in Germany. So he's kind of come in, and all the football that he's played have is kind of, in a way, he's probably went, wow, because he mentions it in his post-match when he's standing with Kyogo, and he says it's loads of games. It's lots of games. Footballers will always tell you, yourself, Ryan, you'd rather play games than train. So you'd rather be playing football than do any training. So no doubt the players will be loving it, but it's a massive step in a different direction that he's not been used to, Ryan. And I think the early stages of this is obviously he's trying to come over to a new culture. He's probably played for a club, Ryan, where it's okay to draw or lose and you can reset yourself and start again. Can't do that here, mate. Because if you draw, it's not good. You get beat. It's an absolute catastrophic thing to happen to your team. So when you go to that, and if you're not used to that exposure, it must be a bit daunting, man.
Aye, he's obviously going to have to settle, getting used to how many games they play and different competitions. One week it could be a cup, next the Champions League, or if it was Europa League, whatever it is, European-wise. Then you might have a league game, and then when it gets to this time of year, you've got maybe like 10 games within like 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something. So he's going to get used to that as well. Listen, sometimes you've got to go with the manager, as much as you might not rate a player, or if it's hard to meet whoever it is, or Engels, the manager, as much as Scales, as much as because he's £11 million, majority of fan base probably rightly you think that he's got to come in and be that superstar.
Yeah.
Right? The manager's come out and says, look, as much as he's basically, well, I'm not saying this is what Brendan meant, but this is what I took for it. In other words, basically, we've signed an £11 million project development player that's going to get better under my management, under my coaching, playing at this club. The more games he plays, he's going to get better in the next year, 2, whatever years down the line. He signed a 5-year contract, so he signed that to get better in months and weeks and days down the line. So, and we've seen that since he came into what he has now. I think he's getting better every game. And for me, JP, when you go to play like that, I know these days they don't call it drafting, they call it rotating, right? I don't think you can rotate a player like that as much. I think if that's the sort of player that he might be, then I think you've got to play him as much as you can to then get the best out of him, because I think some players, maybe including myself on this when I played, right? Some players need to play every week because they might put on a bit of weight, or they might lose fitness, or they might lose sharpness, but if they're continually playing, that won't happen to them. But then if they drop out and then in and out, I'm used to that at half 10, you want to. If we get that sorted by Engels, I think continually playing, then I think we'll see the best of him. But again, it's a shame for Bernardo, and maybe not as much as McKibben, but it's a shame for Bernardo, because Bernardo, for me, he's a lovely player. I think he does his simple things. He was very good yesterday, but because Engels is really good, again, it took the shine off Bernardo. So, listen, I think we can all agree on this podcast that we all rate Arne Engels, and we can we can see that he's got potential to go further. Not further on Celtic, but I mean further at this club.
He's maybe not fulfilled his potential at Celtic just now, but you can see that he's got ability. We can all see that. Anybody can see that. You've got ability as a footballer. You can see that as soon as somebody kind of steps onto the park for Celtic. You can see he's got ability. Has he kind of fulfilled that potential yet? No, by any means. But you're starting to see that kind of week in, week out, that he's coming on as a player. So
the last 2 games, Alan, I mean, being at Celtic Park back to back there in a quick space of time, and watching him, that was, you know, he's delivered some really good performances.
He's starting to adapt to Celtic as a whole. It's a whole new club, it's a whole new country, it's a whole new culture, it's a whole new everything, to be honest. Right? The guy's only 21-year-old. He's coming into a new country, he's coming in as professional and as much of a footballer and he might be. He's still coming in as a young guy into a new country, a new way of living, etc. He's still adapting to life. He's still adapting to life. So I know we pay $1 million and we think, oh, this guy needs to kind of hit the ground running, but at the end of the day, he's just a human being. He needs to kind of adapt to the way he's living. He needs to make sure that he's kind of happy before you start seeing the best of his football. So hopefully that's him settled in now, and you're seeing him starting to kind of be happy. You're seeing him starting to play a bit better football, and I think anybody with 2 eyeballs can see that the guy's got an immense amount of ability about him.
Wee question for myself, James Kennedy. He says, will Engels playing Thursday, JP? Yeah, I think he will, James. Back-to-back man of the match performances, mate. I don't know how you can take him out your team. As Ryan says, I think it's harsh, but I think that's where we are now, James, as a team, as a whole, because we're saying it's unfair. There was Celtic fans saying it was unfair for Liam Scales to be taken out of the team when Austin Trusty was brought in. Now, those tables have been turned again, and it's Liam Scales that's been brought back in, and Austin Trusty's now on the bench, albeit he's had a couple of viruses and, you know, here and there, but he was also substituted on in a cup final for Austin Trusty. So those tables have turned. I think that's where we are, James, as an actual squad, mate. I think, you know, there's that much good happening in the squad. This is where we are as a fan base. We're now sitting having debates going, do you think it's fair that he's been brought out of the team? Well, probably no, but somebody has to take that spot. And I do firmly believe that out of one of the 3 on Thursday, it will be Arne Engels. Now, we're 49 minutes into this podcast. We've not even mentioned the fact that we've got a Glasgow Derby just coming in a couple of days. We are going to touch on that now, Ryan. Obviously, going into this game, Celtic are full of confidence. They've got a massive lead in terms of points-wise, massive goal difference. Probably a massive hold over the rivals as well, in that, you know, they've failed to beat us in so long. They've just lost a cup final to us. People are going to say, yeah, but the game was close, JP. It was a great game for the neutral to watch. It also finished. It was a great game to watch overall, if you look at even watching it back. I know we were out that day and we were well inebriated by the time that dies in my head a penalty happens, but it was a great day for all of us. It was just a brilliant day that we shared together, being out together and having a laugh and a carry on, and in that, a great result overall. But the game at Celtic Park earlier in the season, Ryan, wasn't as close, and it was very one-sided, and again showed where the gulf is. Then you look at the 2 teams going into this game on Thursday. I actually keep going to say Saturday or Sunday, but obviously the game's on Thursday. And it's mental because it's a 3 o'clock kickoff as well. So it's usually an earlier kickoff as well than that. So it's kind of thrown me a wee bit due to the festive period. But I really do think going into this, mate, this could end up... I think by the end of the game, we could be in a position, Ryan, where we could witness as a fan base. I know we're not in the stadium, and none of our fans are getting into the stadium, but on the TV, I think we could witness a stadium becoming very volatile, mate, very, very quickly.
Aye, obviously I'm going to try and put a balance to it, but then I'll put my Celtic hat on and put that towards it as well.
It's not like you, man. Normally you just go all out and go for it.
No, but balancing it out, listen, it's still a derby game, right? And they're going to have 50,000 at IBROX. They're going to have everything in their favour in terms of...
Do you think that will be the crowd, though, Ryan? This is the thing.
This is what I'm all mentioning myself.
Right, okay.
This is where I'll put it. In my Celtic hat, I'll mention that, right? So if you're in their camp,
so what hat are you wearing now? What one's it now?
This is the balanced hat, right?
Is this your balanced hat, right?
So
okay.
If you're being a neutral, right, just say a neutral aspect, it's still a derby game. Obviously, it's a Glasgow Derby, but still, again, you're going there with no crowd against you, so that's one thing against you right away, right? You're going there with the crowd there, they're having to obviously try and prove a point. The manager's got to try and prove a point. They're probably going to come out and try and start fast. And they're probably going to try and get an early corner, or they're going to maybe try and get an early foul, an early goal. They're going to try and get something to get the crowd right on them right away, because they'll know what happened the last time, after like 20 or 30 seconds, whatever it was, and Maeda scores. And then I know we do the game, I'm sure we did do the game, but it was doom and gloom right away. So they don't want that, right? I'm not a balanced guy, but I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here, right? And then I'll go all in here, right? It's still a derby game. You still need to respect the fixture, but take away all that into the Celtic cap. I would normally say go to IBROX, get a draw. I'd be happy, go away unscathed, and that's you. But listen, I think as a fan base, if we go here and we don't take 2 or 3 off them, we'll be pretty disappointed. Because they're a bad team. They're a poor team. They're all out of the camp. The managers, he's talking in riddles. He's mentioned sports science because he's using that as an excuse. It's deflection tactics. Daniel's coming out after the game saying that, oh, we're lacking this, we've got the quality. Even the players are in this delusion that they've still got something. And then if we get an early goal or they don't do a few good passes early doors, then that 50,000 is going to be right on them. And it'll be boo, and it'll be heckle, and it'll be get out the club, and it could be toxic. But listen, I don't normally say things like this, right? We, in my opinion, only need to turn up 75% and we win the game. If we play our stuff, by the way, we have no pressure on Thursday. I know people think I'm stupid saying that, right? We're miles in the league. If we get beat, I'll be disappointed, right? But I'm not going to go after we've lost, and because go look at the league table. It's not going to hammer the league. It's not going to. It might hammer the. For me, this isn't a bragging rights.
Well, I mean, it's still going to be 11 points. Even at that, it's still a big margin.
For me, this isn't about bragging rights now. This is about putting misery onto them, the other side of the city. This isn't just about, well done, won the derby game, let's celebrate. It's turning the tables right around. I mean, right around, and having to then either sack the manager, if it means they need to change players again, and they need to then take more money, put them in debt in January to try and salvage the season. There's loads of things that's impacting this game if we really do what I think we could do. The pressure's off. You've got McGregor there, come back in fresh. You've got Kyogo probably start. The team's full of confidence. 8 goals in 2 games, 2 clean sheets. Listen, I could have egg in my face here, and we could go in complacent and we can get beat. Listen, I've seen stranger things happen. But we've got an unbelievable chance. And I can sense for the manager, for the wee things he's saying, wait till he's pressing, either probably Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever it's going to be. He'll have wee digs again, he always does, and I think you'll sense what he's going to say, how the team's going to turn up, and I think they're really fearing the worst. I normally don't say we're going to go to IBROX, and normally I go, it could be tight, it's a derby game, it could be close. This could be humiliation. And if these players really want to do it, JP, I think they could do it. So, listen, it's no about what they do. It's what about we do. If we turn up in the front foot and we get that early goal, or we get even as the early corner, mind what happened with Edward, mind that game we beat him, right away, get the ball in the corner, and that turns the pressure on you right away. See if we do it right away, by the way, it could be a long, long day at IBROX for them.
Yeah, Alan, obviously we're going into derbies, you know, I think this is the first time myself I'm thinking, you know, this could be really embarrassing for them. You know, this could end up catastrophic for them. But I'm getting to a point where I'm actually thinking to myself, now we beat them 3-0 at Celtic Park, and fans turned up outside IBROX looking for, shouting, where's the captain, and approaching Philip Clement in the car park, etc. I'm not being rotten, mate, but if Ryan says, you know, if Celtic turn up and play the way we all know that they can play, and kind of similar to the way they played the game yesterday, then in my opinion, there's got to be fans looking to really, I think it's at that point now, even listening to, you know, some of the forums, other, you know, talk shows and other phone-ins, etc. I think we're at that point now. I think there's going to be some loon ball out there that, you know, he's just at his wit's end, mate, and I think it could be really, really volatile very quickly. In terms of the game, mate, I think it's one of those games as well. There's that big a margin now, Alan. I don't even think even the Rangers fans who are looking at beyond the Rangers specs are looking at that and saying, even winning, isn't he papering over these cracks with what's going on with the manager and what's going on, it's, you know, what's been said. So I think Celtic are in that far away position that even if Celtic were to lose this game, it's not even going to be anywhere near detrimental to our season as a team, let alone anything else. Because if it was much closer, then you'd be looking at it a different way. But I think there's a certain fan base, which is us, really looking forward to the game. And we've got it in our head, we know what's going to happen. And yeah, that is true, G-Doc. There will be. But Alan, I think a lot of Celtic fans kind of envisage what's around the corner. As Ryan says as well, the feel-good factor from the manager, the players, the way things are going. And there's another fan base, mate, they really don't want this game to come.
You look at their fan base just now, it is very toxic. You look at, I've got a number of friends that support the darker side of Glasgow, and they're saying the same thing. They're saying the same things. They're wanting Clement out the door right away. So I think we're going into this game at the weekend, Thursday. Usually I think it's because it's the weekend, but we're going into this game on Thursday and we're full of confidence. But you look at the cup final before, the three of us were massively confident before that. It ended up going to penalties. It ended up was very, very close. So, you know, these kind of games can turn their head, but if you look at kind of recent form, you look at kind of recent results, Celtic are massive favourites. Celtic been by clear the best form side in the country by a country mile. So
yeah,
we're going into this game full of confidence. We're going into this game that the other side's they've faltered, they've fell beneath any standards they've had previously. So we're going into this game and we should expect a win. We're thinking it should be a win, but we can't let any complacency get into our game. We need to make sure that we turn up. We need to make sure that our team is there at 100%. We need to make sure that we give everything we possibly got. Our players are there all the day. So it's one of the kind of days, you know, a derby day, anything can happen, but I think that everything's in our corner, everything's kind of behind us. We have got everything we should have that makes us think that we should win this game, and I'm cautiously confident going into this game, and I think that all the evidence shows that Celtic should win this game, but let's just see what happens.
Ryan, you touched on the manager, obviously Clement himself. Now, I want to just say on here just now, I want to say a massive congrats to Brendan Rodgers and the way that he's managed their squad, and he's managed to keep everybody happy, and he's giving guys game time, you know, and keeping them all in the kind of group, and keeping them all high-fiving and smiling and everything. Because that, you know, that brings a togetherness, Ryan. That brings you know, when you're out, you play against St Johnstone, you help them win 4-0, then one of your mates goes in and helps them beat Motherwell 4-0. You all start to feel part of something. You start feeling, you know, I'm contributing here, I'm getting the games here. Like Luke McKell's coming in, and then Bernardo's coming in, and then Hatate's coming out, and then he's bringing in this one. He's moving McGregor out, and he's bringing Engels back in. And so he's keeping all the lads quite happy. He's keeping the lad. Now, the lad Young's had a run of games the last couple of games. Okay, maybe due to injury as well. Maybe that wouldn't have happened if James Forrest when he got hurted. But you look at Palmer. You know, there's been injuries there. He's not getting that kind of game time. So there's players there that, you know, Brendan doesn't need to play them. But he's doing it in a way, mate, that he's trying to keep them all happy. I listened to an interview not long ago with Brendan, Ryan, and this brings me to my point. And he was asked about sports science. And he was, you know, he says that he uses sports science as a tool to help. You know, he takes some information from it and he stores it and he keeps it in mind as the games come along. Then you look at the contrast to the other side, you know, it looks like Philip Clement has taken sports science as black and white, and he is doing it in a way that he's obviously listening to what's being said to him, and that, you know, it doesn't matter if he's your best player, you still need to take him out. Now, I looked at their lineup yesterday night, and obviously I'm going to talk about it now, and when I seen Kieran Dowell playing, now, I'm looking through the lineup and I noticed that Czerny's not there, right? Czerny's been far and away their best player, in my opinion, right? Now, for me, Kieran Dowell is not a good player in his own position. So to move Kieran Dowell into a position that replaces so far your best player in the season, I'm not too sure, mate, in terms of management, what you think you're going to get from him there. Because he's not even good at his own position where he's supposed to play. Now, out with a goal against Livingston, I'm not really too sure what Kieran Dowell's brought to the table for that team. The lad Cortez as well. Again, you look at all the hype that's surrounded the lad. He's done this, he's done that. He's not really done too much in that team. He's not played in a long time as well. But he throws them into a game, Ryan, where they very drastically needed points, mate. They needed to take 3 points away from home. The decision-making from that manager is mental. But when he does make those choices, he then starts blaming toenails and does dances in press rooms, and it's absolutely mental, right? He was
Well,
the one with
Stephen Welsh up front.
Well, that I know. He probably would know, by the way. I think, but that's what I'm saying. It's just absolutely mental. And the things he comes away with, he never ever takes stock and takes, like, shoulders any blame. It's always someone, you know, someone else's fault. Or, I mean, recently, obviously, Sports Science has been telling him not to play these players. He spent about £3.5 million on the lad Bizrami. He's sitting on the bench. But again, there's another player that's not contributing. So where I'm going with this, Ryan, is you look at those players, right, that they've got, and you look at the mentality of the players they've got. Some of these guys don't know what it's like to come in and play at that club. They don't know what it's like to play. And when you don't win, they're walking up to the fans, clapping the fans, thinking that, oh, we're okay, we'll see you in the next game. Get off the pitch, man. They're standing there shouting abuse at you, hurling abuse at you, telling you to F off and every other derogatory term that comes along with that. Read the room, man. Start learning about what's going on about you. And then you look at the contrast to our side, and you've got a massive mindset, Ryan, coming from not just the captain. You've got Casper Schmeichel there, Alistair Johnson, Carter Vickers. You've got a nucleus of a teammate full of winners.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, mate, you look at that and that itself tells you all you need to know moving into this fixture.
The thing with Clement is, lads, and a lot of people who's watched as well understand it as well, it's pressure, mate. It's all to do with pressure. It's all to do with being under scrutiny. He's trying to say things or do things. I'm not going to praise him, right? But he's trying to do something to change it. If that's change the team, if it's blame the sports, that he's trying to deflect and he's trying to do something. But everything he's doing, see after the press conferences, right? I don't know if the media or the press liaisons, whatever it is, are briefing him before pressers, because he's putting these players in the team and himself under crazy pressure and crazy ready for keyboard people on Twitter and everything to give him abuse and say, listen, even people that know us, but on other Rangers podcasts or Rangers media, Rangers fans all talking about him and saying he's Looney Tunes, he's losing the plot, he's saying this and saying that. Just say after the game, look, not acceptable, not good enough. I take responsibility, and we'll train, we'll do training, we'll try and do this, and then move on. Don't keep it with excuses. It's because of this. With a good first half, a good second half, like Andy Halliday that we're talking about on Super Scoreboard. He says we're better in the second half. Obviously, I didn't see the game, right? But against Mirren, they do the game. They didn't win the game. So it's pressure. He's cracking under the pressure. This is a guy who's managed before in big clubs at Monaco, etc. He's won trophies. You wouldn't think it, by the way. You wouldn't think it's a guy.
But Ryan, do you know where I start having questions asked, and I want to start asking questions properly? When guys like Gordon Duncan, who are in the media day in and day out, and that's their job, are standing in a pre-match build-up to one of their games, saying to Clement, "You've had a good couple of months, mate. What are you smoking?" Seriously, what are you smoking? Because, honest to God, in that 2 months you're referring to, they've lost to Aberdeen, they've lost to Kilmarnock, they've lost to St Mirren, they've now drew with Motherwell, and they lost a major cup final. So where in that have they done well?
You say that as well, right? They spent the early cup final when they didn't get their penalty and it ruined the game, apparently, right? They spent days on Super Scoreboard, days on the media, days in the papers, online, talking about this VR decision, this and that, and Gordon Duncan was on his high horse about it. This is VR's got to get fixed, this and that, this and that. The SFA and VR have now come out and said that Motherwell denied a goal. How long did they spend about talking about that? So you can't just take on one decision and because it didn't go against a certain team and then it went against them there and it's hard to get spoken about. But no, look, on him, JP, listen, it's going to come ahead somehow with him. He's going to get, either he's going to resign, he's going to walk, or he's going to get sacked. Something's going to happen, because if we do what I think we're all expecting to happen, or at least win the game, there's going to be more pressure on him, there's going to be more...
I actually think that guy's that bad, mate, that he would try and resign and accidentally be bumped up to being the chairman. I think that's the way that club runs.
We all know in football, lads, right? As much as I don't think...
It's like always for this time when they walk around the table, isn't it? Who's going to be the chairman next?
It's going to take for the fans not to turn up, the fans not to buy tickets. It's going to take all that to happen before he gets sacked. If the fans aren't happy, then listen, lads, it happened with Dyler, it happened with Lennon. He'll get sacked eventually, or he'll walk and think, I can't handle this anymore. So we've got a massive opportunity on Thursday to really, really ramp up the pressure. And listen, it might sound nasty, but they're your so-called rivals. So that's what you do to that. You want your rivals to be in meltdown. You want your rivals to be in crisis. That's what you want, and you'll take joy out of it. But every Celtic fan, win, lose or draw during the week, Thursday, just enjoy what's happening at this club now.
You're right, during the week.
During the week. Just enjoy what's happening at this club now. If we get beat, listen, look, for a day it'll hurt, right? We don't like losing against them. It'll hurt for a day or two, but listen, we'll get in it. We're still 11 points clear of 10, whatever it'll be, at top of the league, right? It's not going to matter a jot, right? Aye, we don't want to get beat. It's not a dead rubber, by the way. Any Celtic fan says it is. It's not a dead rubber. We still want to turn up. Listen, don't be complacent, but if we turn up, like every podcast we see on here before these games, if Celtic turn up to what they can, and just a wee bit below that, they'll win the game because they're the better team. The manager's amazing that goes to IBROX. He knows all about the games. He's in mentality JP. I think you're bang on. We've got an elite mentality all through the team, from Casper to Kyogo, even on the bench. You've got Robin Proper, who was, I didn't see him in 20.
He's by the way, he's robbing somebody. I don't know about anything else.
Apparently he was decent in FC 20. He was a captain, and he's come out in the media. I don't know what
on the PlayStation.
He's come out and says that basically I can't handle it here, that I can't handle having to win every game and this and that. So it's a really poor mentality to have, and this is what I keep saying as well. Just because it's not out in the public, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen indoors. So we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. You've got Tavernier no what at the interviews. He keeps saying disappointed. You've got Clement saying that. Their mentality is really, really poor. They've not got the ingredients to go and win a league title, to go and win a cup, because they've not got the sustainability in the dressing before they go out. For me, the game is won internal on Thursday. As soon as they see guys like Engels firing, McGregor, Kyogo, Casper, and you've got Butland, by the way, every single shot, get it to the left-hand side.
More left.
He can't save it. Every goal I think we've scored against them, do every shot, it's in.
Yeah.
Pepper his goal. Just pepper, and just... But listen, I don't need to sit here and say things that we all know. If we turn up and the manager gets his tactics right, but we all know he can do, listen, I just want to win the game. I want to know the flip the own goal. I couldn't care. But I'm very, very confident that this will be a 2 or 3 even more. If we get an early start and get an early goal, it could be a real 5-1 game or a 5-0. It could be. I hope I'm right, and we don't. I'm not got big egg in my face here, but listen, man, this is we have got, like Alan says, like he says, mate, we have got everything in our favour. The only thing we've not got in our favour is the fans. Take away that, everything's in our favour. We've got the mentality.
But you know what, that could work. That could work for us, Ryan, as well. See if we get a goal or two, how do you think the fans are going to react? We spoke about that earlier. Like how will the fans react if we go 1 up? Like, they will absolutely go ballistic. They will go tonto. If we go 1 or 2 up, they'll be speaking with their feet as well. That stadium will probably empty, and the only people who will be left there will be people that are booing.
Alan, do you think it'll be a game that some of their players will start kicking us and some of their players will start trying to leave something on us?
I don't know if they've got that in the locker, the players they've got. There is a few of them. You could maybe think that they would do that, but I think we just need to make sure we do what we can do. Concentrate ourselves, make sure we play at the best of our ability. And I think if we play to the best of our ability, we win that game. You know, it's a derby, you know anything can happen. When you look at the last derby game, the cup final, that was probably the worst that I've seen Celtic play in a derby game in a long time, and we still won the penalties. So I think any upgrade on that, and I think we win the game. I think it's as simple as that. I don't want to be too confident, I don't want to be too cocky, but
yeah,
I think if we play to the best of our ability and Rangers play to the best of their ability, I think there's only one winner. And that's not being confident or cocky, that's just the the reality of the situation.
It's
I
not a
guess.
negative either, right? Listen, by the law of averages, they're going to win one eventually, right? It could be Thursday, it could be March. They're going to win one eventually. By the law of averages, we're going to get beat some game, right? I hope no, but by the law of averages, it's going to happen at some point. It could be this year, it could be next year. It's going to happen, right? We're not going to go in the next 10, 15 years without getting beat. That's not going to happen, right? But I get your point, Alan, but it's no cocky, it's no being overconfident, it's just realising what we're seeing and what they're seeing. Honestly, if it's a boxing match, it's done now. It's done.
James, to answer your question, it's Don Robertson that's the match official, and the VAR is Nick Walsh. There is other people, but I can't remember the lads on all the other boys' names. But it's Don Robertson, it's the ref, and Nick Walsh is in the VAR room.
Tommy Johnson and Daniel Majstorovic.
Probably, aye. Like Danny, I actually think in fact, I've just had it sent to me. James, just bear with me, mate. It's just loading in. The rest of the VAR control team. There we are. There we go. So.
Is the Pope getting an early flight here?
That's the rest. He leaves tomorrow. Apparently, he's coming and hugging me, to make sure he's here on time.
Is he jogging me my header in?
No, see, they've got to get him plugged in. He's got to get into the middle because that's the biggest booster for his pacemaker.
So technology these days, mate. He needs a wee bit of coaxing, doesn't he?
Well, that's what I was going to say. They were actually wanting to get the wee Pope mobile that he travels in and with him, but they tell him that to be fair, before the lineup got announced, he thought it was an individual booth, and it was Rod Stewart. I had to tell him, no, you've got to be sitting with us. So he's asked, could he sit in the middle, Ryan, so that the big charger thing for his pacemaker and that's here as well. So we do have it on good authority. He's going to be well looked after. Right, obviously, we're at that point now where I'm going to ask you for teams. Only the Celtic team. I'm not really wanting. Well, you can have a go at their team if you want. It's up to you. But I'll start with you, Alan. Obviously, what do you think? John, I don't even think he's that good, mate. To be fair, I think you're giving him a bit more credit than what he actually deserves, mate.
Did you hear the guy? I know we try and be respectful right on here, right? But there was a guy he phoned in Silver Scoreboard. He's like, proper, he's honking.
I've seen the. I've
heard the clip. To opposition players.
I've heard the clip, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how he would get a game for the school team. I don't know how he's become a professional footballer.
He's
absolutely atrocious.
He wouldn't even get a game of crosses with you, wouldn't he?
He is. Like, I don't want to say too much in case it comes back to bite us and he scores a winner or something on Thursday, but he is absolutely atrocious. And I spoke to my pals, Rangers men as well, and they're saying the exact same thing. But how has he become a professional footballer? I've no idea who scouted that guy, but he's got to be a good football player.
I think it was Bert Conterman's Matt taught him how to play.
Aye.
She
Bert Conterman and Dirk Berichter had a lane. Aye, that's what happened.
Aye, the two of them had a lane. And,
so, but you're asking about teams, I take it, JP, yeah?
Aye, the team, what do you think the team lineup will be?
Right, Casper Schmeichel. I think Alistair Johnstone will start. I think Trusty's coming back in. As long as he's fit, I think he'll come back in. I think it'll be Carl Vickers and Trusty. This is a hard bit. I think that Valle played well enough yesterday. I think he deserves a start. No, I was going to say Taylor will play, but I think Valle will play. I think he played very, very well yesterday. I think he deserves a start. So I think it'll be AJ, Carl Vickers, Trusty, and Valle. I think Cal McGregor will play. I think it'll be Real Hatate, and I think Arne Engels for the last few games. I think he's done enough to put himself back in the team. So I think Paolo Bernardo drops out. So Cal McGregor, Engels, and Hatate. And I think it'll be my usual up front with Maida, Kuhn, and Kyogo. And I'm going for a 2-0 victory.
2-0 victory. Okay. Ryan?
Aye, obviously, as G-Doc says there, it is Casper's debut. Obviously, IBROX as well, so that'll be a good thing for him as well to have in his locker. Obviously, touch wood, nothing happens between now and then, but I think Casper will. I think Casper will obviously win goals. I think Johnstone will play. I actually think Valle. If Valle doesn't play, then I'd honestly want to go back to Barcelona. Honestly, that's how I'd be really, really, really annoyed if I wasn't playing if I'm at Valle. He was very good.
Yesterday,
He was very good. He was listen, before anybody clips this, I'm no saying he's Kieran Tierney, but it was the way he was just bombing up and down. He was bombing, and I thought he was really good. He was inverted a wee bit as well. He was showing a bit more kind of intelligence in that role as well. So, listen, if Greg Taylor plays, I'm not going to be doing and going about it. Greg Taylor's played at IBROX. He's played well at IBROX. No hassle with it at all. But I think Valle deserves his shot. He's played really well when he's come in the big games at Atlanta and Dortmund and stuff. So I think Alex Valle gives you a different dimension as well. If need be, you need to put Taylor on the second half, then you do it. You've got that option. That's probably, for me, I think Valle's got to play. The only stick on for me would be defence, if it's Scales or Trusty. To be fair to Scales, he's not had much to do the last 2 games, but what he's done, he's been pretty decent. So I think if Scales doesn't play, I think he'll be disappointed, but I think maybe because Trusty was brought in for the money, he was brought in for these probably type of games. I really don't know. I'm going to sit in the fence with who's going to play defence. IP is going to be between Trusty or Scales. I don't know who will play. If it was me, I think if I'm the manager, I think he'll stick with Scales personally. But I think Trusty, I think he might play though. I know I'm probably going silly here. I'm saying to him to play, but I'm just trying to.
You can only pick one, so you're only picking one.
Right, if I'm going to put my neck on the line, I think he'll play Scales.
Right, okay.
Middle of the park. It's a shame for Bernardo that I think he might miss it because he's been brilliant since he's come back into the team.
We need to get that wee button, didn't we?
Aye. But I think Arne Engels is a game where he could shine. He's leading up to a game where he's going to either start, score, or he's going to have a worldie. Because Barry, we see one of these shots he's hitting, they're going to go in. You can see him. You can see him. It was one in Boxing Day as well. His free kick was just behind me. It was just a tap in the bar.
Yeah.
He's getting there. So I think Engels will play. McGregor will come back in fresh and Hatate. And I think same as Aaron. I don't think the front three changes as long as Kuhn's not a reaction to his knee or anything. I think it'll be Maeda, Kuhn and Kyogo. Kyogo and Maeda do well at IBROX. Maeda does really well there. Obviously, Mr. Tavernier, who we might touch on. I don't know if we've got enough time, but he'll be. I've got a wee photo.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've got a wee photo of Tavernier and he's sleeping Wednesday night in a hotel. He's having a wee bit of nightmare about Maeda. There he's there. 1, 2, 3. I'm coming for you. I think Tavernier will be having nightmares as well. So listen, I think it's all going to be what we do. Predictions. I'm going to go 4-0. There you go.
Jesus.
I'm going to go a battering.
Don't let him take predictions when he was saying it was 5-0 that I'm going
Again, Alan, I'm only going by what you see. I'm only going by what's the evidence we've had in the past. And the evidence right now, like you've said, Alan, the bookie's favourite.
These games are never that.
No, I get that. I get that, but there's just something.
We told that at the cup final as well.
That's what I say. When I had my balance hat on, that's what I mean. It could be close. It could be you've got 50,000 against you if they start well. But on your Celtic cat here, you look at the form, you look at how we are playing, you look even the bookies, 9 times out of 10, and gamble responsibly, but in the bookies ran, no, Celtic favourites at IBROX. nearly even just past even one of favourites. So they're even telling you they're expecting a button. So, listen, I could have egg in my face, I could be clipped, it could be free off a name, and I'm happy to admit, woof, get that one, man, fair play, fair enough. But listen, I'm expecting a drubbing, I'm expecting Celtic to really come out with a good victory. No, G-Doc, you're spot on, I did mention that low average. It could happen. I could have egg in my face. I'm big enough, when I say wise enough, but I'm big enough to accept it. And I'm accepting enough to be clipped. And you said this, said that. I did, and I'm not putting my neck in the line, but I'm expecting Celtic to, and the manager to have him right up for the JP. I'm expecting a really good performance.
Yeah, I think the team will be Casper.
By Lanarkshire. That's what I said.
And this show was brought to you by Lanarkshire.
And then by 5 o'clock, I'll be on the hoochie Gucci.
The hoochie Gucci. Waba Baba Katanga. Skuduba, aye. Barbados na bottle. Thanks for that, Gaubo.
Cheers, Gaubo.
I lost my chain of thought. Aye. So, Casper, AJ, Carter Vickers, Scales, and I think Greg Taylor's going to play. Just the simple fact that he's far more experienced in this fixture, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why he wasn't playing yesterday, similar to Callum McGregor. I think Callum McGregor comes back into midfield, and I think partnering him will be Rio Hatate and Arne Engels. And not to worry, John, I know you're sitting there sweating, mate, wondering what I'm going to say next in terms of who's going to play out wide. I don't think Yang's starting, so there you go. I think it'll be Nicholas Kuhn and Dyson Maeda, and I think it'll be the wee man through the middle.
No chance of an old Ford Escort starting and they're Yang.
I know. Aye. an old Force Fiesta.
I've seen a few comments and all. Again, I don't know if it's anything that's been online, but I've seen a few comments about, I think John said it as well, about is KT coming home, maybe take him back. I don't want to spend too much time on it, John, because we all know that anything can happen in transfer windows. We're going to get linked with, we'll probably get linked with Robbie Keane again in 2 years' time. You know, he's retired 2 years ago, so that's just the way it happens. It happens every year.
The only way we're getting linked to him is if Brendan's stepping in as manager.
So, but for me, listen, I've said my piece in Kieran Tierney. If Kieran Tierney's able,
you've had a piece in Kieran Tierney, have you?
Well, listen, finding
man.
But piece in Kieran Tierney. No, listen, if Kieran Tierney can get, if he's going to come back with a wage cut, and he's going to come back, and that a deal can be thrashed to come back, and listen, Brendan's not going to sign him if he knows he's going to be fit to play here. Brendan's no daft. If he thinks Tierney can't play at this tempo and play him into games, he won't sign him. So if Kieran Tierney signs for Celtic and that can happen, you know he's going to be fit. He's going to be ready to go right away as soon as he signs. He'll probably in the team right away. I know Vi's here and so's Tierney. Taylor.
There's not a chance.
You don't think so?
Kieran Tierney. No, what I'm saying is there's not a chance Kieran Tierney's going to be playing on Thursday. If any Celtic fan thinks that, then
no, I'm not saying Thursday, but
no. But I've seen comments in this here tonight to say that Kieran Tierney's. They've all heard that Kieran Tierney's got to be. He's back in time and he's going to. He's got to be playing.
Rivaldo's playing or not?
Rivaldo, aye. I think they're signing Ivan De La Pena as well. I don't know. They're not having a free.
I'm one of Kieran Tierney's biggest fans. I know he's had injuries, but if a deal can be reached, I know Punch said that John, they've asked a few questions.
There is no way Kieran Tierney's playing on Thursday.
No, I'm not.
I'm not saying he doesn't sign with Celtic. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he doesn't play on Thursday, and the reason for that is because he's not been in, he's not played with the team, and he's not done any shape.
I honestly don't know about this again if about him signing before Thursday, right?
Well, obviously, some of the lads that are, well, Monty, that's your opinion. That to be fair, mate, that's your opinion, right? And I'm here to give my opinion also. So if that's what you think, mate, then fair enough.
I'll tell you what, but by the way,
I'm giving my opinion, and I don't think Kieran Tierney's playing on Thursday.
See if he does.
For a start, he's not even a Celtic player yet, so to even start having that conversation is just
Nice.
But I mean, we're here trying to contemplate what the squad's going to be, let alone
I'll tell you what, though, by the way, right? See,
Kieran Tierney.
it's not going to happen. Well, listen, if it does, I'll be running about everywhere naked if it needs be, right? Kieran Tierney, if he
There you
signs,
go.
by the way,
He's getting out 3 subs already, by the way. There you go.
if he
Kieran,
signs
Kieran, if you're watching us by any means at all, son, go on and just sign that contract and just so we can. That's got to be some laugh.
If he signs, by the way, the amount of optimism around the club before that game, if that does happen, right? I know there's been a lot of sources going about saying that a deal going to get thrashed out early January or the summer. It's basically a done deal. Listen, that's what the papers are saying. McGivin's put his name to it. Scott Burns has put his name to it. All you guys have all said. So there's some interest in him, right? Well, not happening.
Big Alan was with me day. That's how he fell asleep. He's been out with him all day. He's been in Starbucks all that with me day.
But I'll tell you,
I was at the same day tyres failed. We had to get 4 tyres for my motor. So me and how we kicked him out. We got a motor.
If Tierney does sign, though, it puts a cat. But I tell you what, it does put the cats on the pin if he signs for the game first. I'm telling you. I know you're saying you don't want to start JP, but see if he signs, he won a bench.
That's a different pod.
He's not signing by that time, I know.
No,
That's a different. In my opinion, that's a different podcast, right? That's a different podcast. If Kieran Tierney signs for Celtic, just say, we signed the 3 Japanese lads, Tati, Maeda.
But that was well publicised. This hasn't even been like.
No. Hatati, Maeda, and Ideguchi wasn't well publicised, Alan. That just happened.
You heard 3 glimmers in the background for the Japanese sources. With this,
you've been listening into wee glimmers of Japanese. What's going on here, big man? You get that digital radio.
If we can get KT, for me, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's not even a decide about him. It's game of contract. If he's able to come to agreement of the wages and everything else.
Right, so if I now got to take myself hypothetically and say, if Kieran Tierney signs with us tomorrow,
no,
is that what people say?
No. He's not playing it Thursday. Come on.
No.
That's
what I'm saying. We get real.
No,
that's what I'm trying to say. Get real. He's not going to be playing on Thursday.
The comments are asking us.
It's not even close.
Do I think Kieran... Hold on a minute. Do I think Kieran Tierney will sign for Celtic? I think there's every possibility that is going to be the case. Yes. I don't see the reason why not.
But it won't be before Thursday. And even if it was before Thursday, he wouldn't be playing either. So,
Plunge,
Cloud Cuckoo Land.
Plunge, that's not the case either, mate, because he was on the bench for Arsenal at the weekend there. He was on the bench for Arsenal's last game yesterday. He was on the bench.
Action man's training and all, but he's not turning up at IBROX. Come on, man. Wait. Right, Plunge, play the game, son.
I mean, that... Fair enough, Monty. Listen, we all have optimism and everything else, but you can't be calling people insane when we physically do not have a guy in our possession to even make that call. That itself's insane, surely. Kieran Tierney's not he's not at Celtic.
No.
So to say that anyone
talks nonsense, you can say I talk nonsense as well, because
you can say anybody talks nonsense, because that itself is insane. What you've just said, that's mental, absolutely mental. Kieran Tierney is not at Celtic. He's not here. So to say that anyone else is insane because they're not looking at the prospect of Tierney playing on Thursday.
Monty said I'm gibbering. Monty, I think you need to go for a lie, didn't mate? Ryan
isn't talk nonsense, but me and you are Alan. Right, fair enough.
So if JP's talking nonsense, Ryan's talking nonsense, and I'm gibbering pish, well, that's what he said, so apologies for the French, right?
But hold on a minute. I actually thought we were tripping insanely there, going off the insane chat that Monty has us on, because there's a comment come in here and I thought it was Ken Dodd. Kenneth Todd, by the way. I actually thought that was Ken Dodd.
Ken Dodd.
I thought that was Ken Dodd that messaged us. It's not Ken Dodd. It's no Hughie Casey's wife either. It's Kenneth Todd.
But to be fair, by the way, you're absolutely spot on, mate. The papers, listen, we'll be linked with Edward again. We'll be linked with Jota again. We'll be linked with guys who are still able to play. We'll still have links to players who
I hope so,
are
Monty.
still playing.
Aye.
But
I think you're pulling something else, to be fair.
Monty, it's
That's no wires you're pulling, Monty.
Monty, gear another hour, mate, and you can pull something at half 10, mate.
That's
Don't
what
worry
I was
about
going
that.
to say. Off 10 tonight, you'll be pulling something when the wee man turns on.
I just woke up and I don't want to hear that.
And he's got
Right, let's go back to the points. Well, away for the stuff here, man. Come on, Monty, for God's sake, Monty.
KT is not a daddy. No.
What? Need to say he lives.
KT is not a daddy. He's talking about Kenneth Todd. Daddy man. Get it? With the Ken Dodd joke. Sorry, you can give it
Tell me
back
to go back for a haircut.
Sorry, you can give
That's
it
how we ended in.
I sat with him in there, aye. Sorry to hear about Hughie.
Oh. Hughie Dodd.
Hughie Dodd, aye. Hughie Casey's wife. The boys at school used to call her a daddy man. Brilliant.
I remember when Sinead was a wee lassie. I remember when Sinead was a wee lassie.
Fergie, what you doing? Crossing Ellie Road and the zebra crossing there when the lights flashing out. Sorry, Fergie. Sorry.
Aye, I remember when Sinead was a wee lassie.
I did a scrapbook, £3.90 in a power kilt.
Oh, brilliant.
Aye. Yeah, a bigger scramble than Monty's was you doing that guy's pockets, man, I'll tell you. But
Good
yes,
battle, man.
listen, do I think KT will come back to Celtic? I do have a hunch that he will be a Celtic player again. Is he going to be playing on Thursday? No, man, he's not playing on Thursday. You're absolutely full of the festive biscuits if you think he's going to be playing on Thursday. Would I love to see it? Of course I would. And I think he could be, I don't know about anything else, Ryan, but I think he certainly will be, I think he'll be man will be tuning into the game, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely, mate. He's obviously a Celtic fan, isn't he? So,
yeah.
Listen, if I really do think it's a marquee signing if we turn it back. Forget about how much money it would cost or whatever. To get that quality player in the Celtic squad, it would be a fantastic bit of business for the club and the manager. I don't necessarily need to persuade them because obviously.
Listen, I can get where Jim's coming for, Ryan, because I think there's a lot of Celtic fans still on that, on that train as well. That he is injured. That he's been injured quite a lot since he's left Celtic. But a fit Kieran Tierney, man,
That's what we spoke about. Sorry to interrupt there, Jai people.
No, you go, mate.
Ryan spoke about.
That's why we woke you up, Alan. We wanted you to do that.
I seen that comment there. That's what me and Ryan spoke about. If we had a fully fit Kieran Tierney, if we had a fit Kieran Tierney that never get injured, then there wouldn't be any possibility of him coming to Celtic. He would be going to kind of top sides, whether that be Arsenal or an equivalent side to that. But the reason that we are linked with Kieran Tierney again is because he's got question marks over his head. He's got fitness worries, is he going to get injured again? And that's the reason why he's linked with Celtic again, because if he was 100% fit, then there's no way in hell that he would be coming back to Celtic.
No.
27-year-old.
Alan, just you said that 100% fit. If he's 100% fit, does he play with Arsenal? Or does he then get loaned out to another?
Yeah, I believe so.
But do you think? Hold on a minute. Do you think he would play him? Because he's been fit before and he's not played him. He's played Zinchenko before him. He's now got this young lad who's obviously been tipped to be an absolute superstar as well in his own right. But he then loaned him out to Real Sociedad. So do we think Kieran Tierney, even as fully fit, he would have still played with Arsenal? I've got my doubts about that, lads.
I think he still would, and even if he didn't, I still see that if you're paying kind of 50 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I don't see any reason why you're looking at Kieran Tierney selling under that. I think that.
No, I get it. No, listen, I get it. I totally get it.
So if Kieran Tierney wasn't fancied by Mikel Arteta, I think there'd be plenty of teams in the English Premier League. There would be teams in La Liga, there'd be teams in Bundesliga, Serie A. I think there'd be plenty of teams that would be looking for a fully fit kind of Kieran Tierney. It was only a couple of years ago that it was linked with the likes of kind of Real Madrid. Obviously, that didn't materialise because he has got questions over his fitness. He has got questions over is he going to be injured or not. And as I say, like we said the other night, it's similar to kind of Scott Sinclair. Kieran Tierney is not in a place just now that anybody would be buying him. We are buying. It's hard to say kind of damaged goods, right? But that's the way it is at present. We need somebody. Kieran Tierney's going to come in, fitness team, physios behind the scene will make sure that Kieran Tierney's okay. And you need Brendan to kind of put an arm around him and kind of make sure that he's coming on and just a bit of tender loving care that's going to give the kind of player that we know that Tierney's capable of. And you've seen it before with the likes of kind of Scott Sinclair and Aaron Moy. And we are bringing these players back to life, back to the possibilities we know that they're capable of. And it'd be the same with Kieran Tierney as well. But if he was 100% fit, if he was 100% the player that he's capable of, then there's not a chance that Celtic would be able to bring in a player of that magnitude.
Because he's actually he's no missed a lot of games. A lot of people
No,
think
Ryan,
he's
I was
missed
going to
by-
say you've actually got a stat that kind of argues with.
I didn't know we were going to talk about this.
No, that's
Aye.
fine. Obviously, I know we're near the end now, but I think you've got a start line that argues quite a lot about.
It's something like ever since he made his debut.
He's actually played a lot of football.
I can't mind every single start that he's played, but it's like 32, 27, 35, 42, 20. He's played over 25 games, I think, maybe 3 seasons.
Yeah, he's played a lot of football. Yeah, he has
44 caps he's got for Scotland. Is that right?
I think so. He's 40.
So,
I think he's won.
That's including
You're talking about he's played 19 games and 15 games in a season, right? In modern day football, right? You look at Cal McGregor, you look at a lot of players that are playing 55, 60 games. So in comparison to in football kind of 20, 30 years ago when you play 20 games, 30 games, aye, he's been decent. But you look at modern day football, you're playing anywhere between 55 and 70 games a season. And that's the crux of it, that's a matter of fact. And Kieran Tierney is nowhere near that. And that's the reason why we are able to be linked to him.
I get what you're saying, Alan, right?
That's what it is.
I get what you're saying, right? And you've got to balance it out, that and the injury side and everything else. But see, right now, right, he's fit. We don't know how fit he is, because we're no in the Arsenal. We don't know how fit he is, right? But the fact he's on Arsenal's bench,
I think we're in a position now as well, lads, as a team that we now don't have to. I think at Celtic, Ryan, the first time he was here, and before that, I'll let you back in, Ryan, we had to over-rely on Kieran Tierney due to the fact that the time he's a Gary get injured as well, and then we didn't have someone else coming in as equal quality to that that was going to give us that. So him and Callum McGregor have had to be over-relied on for a number of time, but now we're in a position as a football club, mate, where we can actually use them sparingly. Like, we can do the same with Carter Vickers, in my opinion. We can play Carter Vickers. I want Carter Vickers fit more in Europe than I do. He doesn't need to play against Dundee every week or Ross County every week. It's the same with Callum McGregor. I'm getting annoyed when I see Callum McGregor coming in and playing against Falkirk and then playing against St John. He doesn't need to play every single game.
I think we need to head on Monty for the kind of the Celtic recruitment team as well, because Monty honestly speaks so much sense, telling how much I talk. So Monty, you're in for a job. Well, he taught you for Celtic, right? That's all right.
But I just don't fit. Listen, people can shoot me down this, right? But I don't think we're in a position in a football club, right, to knock back that quality of player. That's what I'm saying. If we were going to bid for a player quality...
No. That's a different thing altogether.
But we're perceived to pay for his quality, right? Just say he was fully fit, right? But right now he's fully fit, right? we would be spending upmost of 40 to 50, onward 60, whatever, name your price, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing with Arsenal because it's Arteta. Arteta, for some reason, doesn't play him.
He doesn't like him, right? He obviously doesn't like him for some reason.
And that's no a detriment to him as a player.
He never signed him at Arsenal, didn't he? No, it wasn't him that signed him.
Aye. And no, I might have been, by the way. I think it was.
I don't think it was Arteta that signed him, mate.
I think it was it no?
I think it was.
I
think it was Unai Emery. I think it was Emery that signed him.
You might be right, but I know we've probably spent too much on this, but the viewers have obviously asked questions. But for me, listen, I think the guys, and I really believe he's a world-class left back. I've said it all along.
No, he is, 100%.
He's at the peaky, in terms of, maybe no injury-wise, right, but at the peak of his age, football and age, he's at his peak. So we've sold him for 25, and if he came back, you're getting him back, developed, playing in a far brilliant league, experienced, playing with Scotland. He's played in Europe, Champions League, played in Spain, and you're getting him back at peak age. And fans are saying no.
Yeah.
I know we've all got opinions, IP, but I just, with that quality of player.
With quality, it's a no-brainer, right? But there's a lot more involved in that. There's a lot more question marks over the head. Obviously, he's no played kind of week in, week out. There is question marks whether he could stay injury-free, if he could stay fit. Right? If it'd be an absolute no-brainer if we know he would play all the time. He's got more quality than most of the kind of left backs, most of the players we've seen at Celtic for a number of years. So for me, it is a no-brainer.
He's better than the two of them. By the way, I like Greg Taylor, Alan, and he's better than the two of them. I've got to know, 100%.
No, we sit and speak about, that's what I says last night as well. We sit and speak about, is it Valle or Taylor? You add Kieran Tierney into that equation, there's no discussion to be had.
No, 100%.
Kieran Tierney's there. He's number one. And that's all is to be said about that. So the only reason that we are being linked with Kieran Tierney is because of the question marks that are above his head.
Right, mate,
aye. So the way it is. But so we need to take on that risk. We need to take on that gamble. But for me, I think it's worth a gamble. I think it is the quality that he's got. I think it's well worth the kind of risk and gamble. And hopefully Brendan can get a tune on him. Hopefully Brendan can kind of get him fit and get him playing and manage him. And I think if we've got a fit Kieran Tierney, we've got an absolute kind of top class player for me.
Watch, he doesn't sign him. You're smoking every podcast.
I know, we're talking about it all the time, but it does look as if he's going to be. Aye. So, we'll play it by ear just now, but I think if we manage to kind of get that deal on the line, it's a good bit of business. I think if we get him fit, it'd be an incredible addition to the first team and the first team squad.
Yeah, we comment there from Melissa McDonald on Facebook. Melissa, he is out of contract in the summer, pal, but if Celtic were to try and bring him in January, you're probably talking about a couple of million as a knockdown price. I'd imagine Celtic will try and, the way Peter Lawwell manages to negotiate deals, and he got his £2 million for David Turnbull. So the way he can majestically add sums, and if the rumours are true that we're about to be given between £6 to £8 million for Bernaby, which is absolutely frightening. Apparently he's getting a new driver's licence with that flung into the deal as well, and a set of L plates as well. So we'll see how that goes. But two cans of Fusel air, and a hamper for James McCarthy's.
On that, actually, I don't know about actually. James McCarthy's actually been released for Celtic, but they've just not announced it. That's what I don't know about digging actually. I was talking the other day with my dad.
James is up. Monty James is up at Block Earn on a Sunday, mate. He's going to be some of his Celtic boots that he used to wear at training.
I don't know about Googling. Well, I know Celtic will eventually confirm it, but I don't know about Googling. And according to every Google, every transfer market, everything, they've all said he's been released. So
he's apparently No, apparently him and Liam Shaw used to swap cards every home game. And
He's
he's
going to
up
be
there.
released. I would release Monty into the wild as well, but you're free. Go, Monty, you're free. Do you know?
Monty would snap your head off and run away to the west with it.
Again, Monty, that's all the digging I've done, Monty, the other day was, and I assumed he'd been released because he's not on the official website as a player, so that, for me, would probably say that he's been released. For me,
I
lads,
quite like that
well,
one. I quite like that one. No, that's a good one. McCarthy's Arsenal fitness coach. Aye.
I know it's not
Surely
our topic for discussion, but I'm being honest. As much as I think the club's been brilliant for a lot of things, and the club's been amazing for years for a lot of things, but not releasing a statement or even a tweet saying that McCarthy's been released for me is bad crack. I don't like it. The guy was included in a double season. He was part of the table winning squad. He may have no one played at all that season. But to just say out the back door and not even get announced that you've been released, for me, I don't like it, lads, and it's bad crack. It's one of the only bad things I'll say about the club.
Well, Ryan, to be fair, my wee pal here, obviously, a weird version of it, but I mean, he was, for a while there, he was doing double shifts. He was who put a huddle on him for quite a while, you know.
Oh man, I think he's taking a pop on it.
He was doing double shifts not for a while. So like him and Big Liam Shaw were doing shift work with Hoopy. But no, I get what you mean. But listen, that's for another day. And as you said, Ryan, I think that is time we can wrap up and let the folks enjoy the rest of their evening and what's to come. I just want to say, obviously, a big thanks to everybody that's tuned in with us tonight. Thanks for all your comments, and thank you for taking the time with us. Lads, obviously yourselves, thanks for coming on and chatting. Alan, thanks for sleeping in.
Honestly. But you've got my wife to thank for coming in. Like, you're not supposed to be in the pod. And I'm like, fell asleep on the couch. So apologies, guys.
But no, as I said, it's been a good chat. It's been a good laugh. I want to say a massive Happy New Year to everybody when it comes. Like I say, on the very beginning of tonight's pod, we won't be back on until Friday now. Friday, 8 o'clock. That's when we'll come back on and we'll try and dissect whatever happens on Thursday, whether that be a Celtic loss or a comfortable Celtic victory, which we're all assuming it probably will be. But for the time, take care all. Hail, hail.
Happy New Year to you all.
And Happy New Year when it comes, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hail, hail.